Hello everyone, Archana is here. Welcome to the sixth session of presentation in English. In today's session, let us deal with the prose Around a Medicinal Creeper written by K.P. Purnachandra Tejaswi. Before we deal with the prose, let us know more about the author. K.P. Purnachandra Tejaswi is one of the most prominent Kannada writers known for his distinct style of writing. He has written some of the best known novels and short stories. Born in Malnad, he imbibed a natural love for nature and a keen interest in unraveling its mysteries. After his postgraduate studies, he chose to follow his heart, that is, his passion for agriculture, photography, ornithology, nature, and writing took him to Mudigere, a pocket of Malnad. All of his eminence as a writer and a votary of environmental and social issues began from his heartland. He cut away from his father, that is Coimbu's influence, and created his own place in Kannada literature. Around a Medicinal Creeper is a humorous story with serious concerns at its core. It revolves around a medicinal creeper and its unique therapeutic values. It highlights the importance of a system of medicine and a treasure of medicinal plants in our forests. The story stresses the need to know about these plants. Purnachandra Tejaswi shows how the entire system of Indian medicine suffers from mystification. He regrets that those who know about the unique properties of these plants and herbs do not share information. In this story, he takes us to the mysterious world of forests through the characters of Mara, Sanna, Appanna, Krishna, etc., and gives us a sense of the real wealth of medicinal plants in the womb of our verdant forests. K.P. Purnachandra Tejaswi talks about a medicinal creeper that took him about 20 years to learn beyond stories around it. Mara found this while shifting the bundle of some creepers that Sanna had brought from the forest. Mara identified this as a medicinal creeper. The writer, out of curiosity, went with Sanna and Mara to find the creeper in the forest. Sanna showed the creeper and Mara immediately tied one of the tendrils to a tree. He said that he had done it because the creeper had been cursed that when someone needed it, it should not be found. This is a creeper with a small leaves that resembles beetle leaves and bears fruits in a bunch like grapes. This plant comes up soon after the rains and fruits and dies. It will not be seen till the next rainy season. That is how the author says the plant is tied to a nearby tree so that it can be easily seen. According to the writer, stories around these medicinal creepers could be true and false. He says that the entire system of Indian medicine suffers from this kind of mystification. When he wished to share a few things he had learned from many people like Mara, his doctor friends became annoyed and called him ignoramus, means ignorant, stupid person. He expresses his dismay over the forests that are fast disappearing now and those who know about the precious plants and herbs who are also leaving us one by one. He was so thrilled to hear so many stories from Mara revolving around this medicinal creeper that each one was marvelous. One day, Mara, while cutting the bamboo shoot, thrust his hands through the bamboo cane and accidentally cut his hand. It started bleeding profusely. Profusely means in large amount. And someone brought some leaf, pressed it against the wound and bandaged it with a cloth. Mara went to the white man at Hulihindalu for dressing and treatment. When the white man opened the bandage and removed the leaf, there was no blood and no wound. The doctor asked Mara to show the plant of the leaf in the forest. Because he was shocked, he started scolding Mara. He became angry. The white man became angry with Mara and started scolding him. "You fool, are you joking?" He started shouting at Mara. Mara showed him all the blood on his clothes and body before him, saying that he was not lying. So, looking at all this, the Englishman believed Mara. He took that leaf which he had been kept on the wound and told Mara, "Okay, you show me the plant from which you plucked this leaf. I will give you my entire plantation." Mara took him to the forest, and even though they searched for an entire day from morning to evening, they did not find that plant which had similar leaves. Now, the Englishman thought that Mara really did not want to identify the plant. So he was angry because he thought that Mara was so greedy that even though he had offered him his entire estate, he was not satisfied. So he took out his gun and pointing at Mara said, "If you do not show it to me, I will shoot you down." Now, the condition of Mara, you can just imagine. Mara was shivering and he started crying loudly. He fell at the Englishman's feet and begged him and said that he really did not know. Hearing the story of Mara, the author was quite irritated and he couldn't control himself, and he started shouting at Mara by telling that yours is a cock and bull story. So the writer called Mara's story fabricated. He told another story about the mongoose and the cow call, which know about this plant. Accordingly, when they hunt poisonous snakes, that is mongoose and the cow call, when they hunt the poisonous snakes, they are bitten by them. So they immediately chew this leaf and cure themselves. And now the story goes in this way. How Mara's teeth tumbled out. Mara did not have any teeth on the right side of his mouth. He had to chew everything on the left side. So he was aged and perhaps they had fallen off naturally, but why only one side? So the story goes in this way. Once, Mara had laid a trap in the forest to catch rabbits. He went into the forest before daybreak to check. The trap was empty. So disappointed, Mara decided to return home. Later, he thought of brushing his teeth and washing his face in a nearby stream. So that he broke a small stick from a nearby plant to brush. So he brushed once, twice, thrice, a fourth time, and felt a sour taste. He thought there was something wrong with the stick and threw it. And before he could try another stick, he wanted to rinse his mouth. He took some water from the stream, put it into his mouth, and after churning it around in his mouth, spat it out. Now, surprise! All the teeth which had been touched by that stick tumbled out of his mouth. So, thank God I was saved because I had not brushed all the teeth. Otherwise, I would not have had any teeth left to eat even rice. So Mara thought, if he would have brushed all the teeth by using that stick, he would not have had any teeth left to eat even rice. This is the story which says that how Mara lost his teeth. And long ago, the other story here, a live wild buck jumps up. What is this story about? Long ago, Mara, along with his friend, laid a trap and caught a barking deer. They took it to the nearby stream to divide between them. After dividing the meat, they wrapped their portions in some leaves and brought them home. In Mara's house, as they prepared to cook, opened the packet to take out the meat, surprise awaited them as a live bug jumped up and ran out of his house. While Mara was trying to catch it, his wife ignorantly threw the leaves into the fire. This shows how ignorant people are in general when they are not informed. There is a need to create awareness about our natural resources. So here, the Mara's wife could have kept those leaves aside so that it could have been examined whether the leaves contain medicinal properties or not. So when the author heard this story, he was speechless and he did not ask Mara for any explanations or any information because this was the height of his inventive genius. So it is no wonder that the white man of Hulihindalu was prepared to give away his entire estate in exchange for these wonder plants. So now it has been long time since the author sold his estate and Mara is also dead and gone. So, but also it is difficult to dismiss or disagree all of Mara's stories as nonsense. After a long time, Mara's medicinal creeper was back in the news. This time, the author saw Appanna tying it to a nearby tree. He asked him whether he knew its uses. So he did not know. I believe if you squeeze the juice of these leaves, milk becomes hard, he said. Appanna said that. So the author heard from Appanna that if the juice of this creeper's leaves is squeezed into milk, it will turn hard. So he was not happy with such stories and wanted to experiment on his own. He, along with his plant pathologist friend Chandru, took a liter of milk and put the milk and leaves into a mixer and switched it on. After they were thoroughly mixed, they poured it out into a vessel. For a couple of minutes, nothing happened. After some time, when the writer checked, it had become firm and rubbery. So when they inverted the vessel, the whole thing fell out like a molded cast. So the writer was convinced that this creeper really had some properties. So time passed, and once again the author forgot about Mara's medicinal creeper. One day, the author's old farmhand Krishna came to see him. He looked pale and breathless. He had stopped working in the estate some time ago and was driving a rickshaw. When he changed his job, he started passing blood with stools. It had become now more serious and he was tired, breathless and wheezing. He seemed to have piles. Surgery would really mean an expensive treatment, so it was very difficult for the man to go through it. He was scared of surgery. Krishna knew a Malayali sadhu who had treated him on an earlier occasion when he had developed boils. After the treatment, he never got a boil again. So he went to see the godman again. Godman is nothing but a sadhu, a Malayali sadhu. But the sadhu had become too old by now. He did not have the strength to search for this plant, but he could describe it. Krishna had to search for this plant, dig out the tuberous root, mix it with milk, and drink the medicine for 5 days. He ground this root and drank it with milk. Within a day, his piles improved. He was completely cured in 5 days. In addition to these stories, the writer himself experienced the wonderful healing properties of this medicinal creeper. When he ate the piece of the plant's root, his pain in his heel out of swelling disappeared. The author concludes that this medicinal creeper is so unique that no research is done to know about the full benefits of the plant. For people like Mara, it is of no importance, and the native doctors like Malayali Sadhu do not share information about such medicinal plants. They continue to maintain the myth that if they told others about their medicines, the medicine would lose their potency. That is how our native medicinal systems are on the verge of extinction. Thus, he urges the necessity to undertake serious research about these invaluable natural resources so that our medicinal system could be promoted and information about it could be shared. So the author, even after the cure, has a few doubts. He wonders whether the cure is coincidental or the effect of the medicinal quality of the plant. Even if it were to be the effect of medicine, he knows that he cannot be sure of which type of swelling would be cured by the creeper. With these questions in mind, the author concedes that Indian medicine, even if effective, suffers from the problem of the native doctors not sharing their knowledge with others because of their fear that if spoken about, the plant would lose its medicinal quality. He awares that this situation has brought India's native medicinal systems to the verge of extinction. So students, here we have winded up the prose. Home assignment. Answer the following questions in a paragraph. First question. How long did it take the narrator to learn the facts about the medicinal creeper? What does it signify? Second question. How was Krishna cured of his illness? And the third question. Why are India's native medicinal systems on the verge of extinction? Thank you all.